Podcast 87. Chris is sick.
I'm dying.
You got COVID in one lung.
I'm sick of food plotting.
Food plotting.
I'm sick of reading forums about food plotting
Yeah.
on Facebook. That's what I'm sick of.
Podcast 87. Chris has one lung.
I have one lung, aqua
Your
lung. It's
your
full of
plant.
aqua.
Your food plots are planted, son.
Yeah, I got done today. Freshly showered.
Why don't you tell us what you planted? What blend?
Okay, so I planted Wingman from Domain, which is kohlrabi, kale, and rape, and something else that I can't remember. I'm hoping
Well,
turnip.
this
I
is
can't
this
remember.
this is something we've never planted.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
brand new blend. I'm planting the same thing.
Yeah,
So we
and
have
and did you realize it only planted a quarter acre?
yeah
Okay. I wasn't sure about that until I flipped the jug over today. I was like, nice, quarter acre. So I got to add to this.
yeah. So my
'Cause-
plots are about 0.35.
okay.
So I'm going to use one jug of Wingman on each side, which is only a quarter. But I'm doing that because I'm adding the oats in. So the domain oats I'm throwing in there as well. So it'll give plenty of room for everything to grow,
Well,
and it should be good.
I took Hot Chick and No
Hmm.
BS, and I took one of their old containers, their half acre container, dumped it in there. So I have Hot Chick and No BS in a half acre container, and I spread that on it too.
Mm.
So a lot of that's oats though, and no BS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's going to be lots of oats and lots of clover mixed with it, and
Well,
so
you'll have
that
it there for next year.
yeah, that was the plan. The Get the clover and chicory in there for next year, and then I'll frost seed in March and add to it, and
Hmm.
uh, depending on what I want to do next year, I got an option now.
Yeah, yeah.
I
When I
can,
plant mine, I'll add the Wingman, the new domain oats, and then in the wintertime, I'll frost seed with hot chick.
hmm
I haven't planted hot chick at this new farm. I had it at the old farm. I planted it 1 year, but um, I want to frost seed that this year
Well,
or
I have
next.
come back on both sides,
Hmm.
so I want to do hot chick in the middle.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the blend that I did. So it's about it's over a quarter acre. It's probably close to 3/8 of an acre, but it's
Hold on.
definitely not a half.
Hold on. I just realized something.
What'd you realize?
What am I going to say?
I don't know.
You just planted a food plot and you didn't get caught in the rain.
Oh, he noticed. I told somebody that this afternoon. I said, "Guess what?"
Every day, every time, every year you plant a food plot, you're soaked. Today you planted no rain.
Yep. Yeah, I told somebody that today. I said I could plant this tomorrow. I said, but I'll be pushing time limit because it's supposed to rain at 7 p.m. I said, and every year I get soaked while I'm spreading. I time it too close, and the last half hour I get rained on.
Hmm.
This is the first year in like 5 years that I didn't get rained on. So, with that being said, that's why I didn't mind a little bit of extra seed because I know the birds are going to hammer the crap out of it tomorrow while I'm at work
They
until it
could
rains.
get the oats since it's
Until
a
it rains. Yeah,
bigger
they're
seed
bigger.
or something. They might pick them
Yeah.
away, but you'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So everybody listen, we're gonna kind of make this a short. This will probably be our shortest podcast, but Chris is sick and I got to get up at 1:30 in the morning, and but it's an important topic. We're going to talk about how to save a food plot.
hmm
Say you planted one now, or you planted one 3 weeks ago. For whatever reason, it failed. It got overtaken by weeds.
Yeah.
It just didn't germinate. It you caught the
Mhm.
packet too much. The seeds are too deep. It didn't grow. Whatever kind of fail that it is,
Right.
how do you save it? And really, it's only today's what, August
15th.
15th. We
hmm
still have
You still have time.
plenty of time.
Yep.
Plenty of time.
Yep.
So I'll go my scenario is what I would do.
Sure.
And I'll also throw in something else too that I just thought about. Because I had a guy message me about it. So I've been getting questions on if you already have a clover plot and
Okay.
you want to plant brassicas, can you overseed that clover plot with brassicas and they'll grow? Can
Right.
they grow? Okay, I have tried this many times just for experiments. It doesn't work.
It did. I've never had good results with that.
I tried it a lot and it just doesn't work. I understand the guys that if you want to plant brassicas, I get the urge to do it. That's like the ice cream crop of food plots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you may not need them. Not everybody needs to plant brassicas. Heck, sometimes they don't even need them. But um, broadcasting them into clover doesn't work.
It doesn't seem to.
Um,
If I was
so
good,
yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say if I was gonna do that, I would take like a ripper or like a single tine ripper or like um what was that thing called we had on the back of the bike before? Those the small one, the little tiller,
Tiller.
the Max, Groundhog
Oh,
Max.
Groundhog
Take
Max.
take something like the Groundhog Max and run it across there and get some dirt exposed.
Hmm.
You're not going to totally destroy your clover, but you got to get some strips of dirt dug up there. Some soil exposed, and that would be the only way I would recommend doing that.
Yeah, it's the competition too, in there. But I think people think of it being as a good idea because clover produces nitrogen and brassicas love nitrogen.
Right.
So they kind of get this involvement with each other. And now it's good to plant together. If I planted brassicas and clover together
Right.
at
That's
at
what
the
I did
same
today.
time,
That's what I did
like
today. Yeah.
because that's in multiple different mixes,
Yeah.
brassicas and clover, like sugar. I think
Hmm.
Sugar Mama is brassica and mixes. Or sometimes I'll plant like Showstopper or something, and I'll add in a jug of Comeback Kid.
Yeah.
So they definitely work good together.
Yeah. They
They
will
just Yep,
at planning.
they just don't work when you have an existing clover plot.
Yeah. Overseeding's hard.
It is. It is.
But we'll talk about a couple scenarios here that'll save a plot.
Yeah. So now, say you planted a food plot and it got overtaken by weeds. What do you do? Well, it's
Hmm.
only in the north, throughout the Northeast, and central, uh, the eastern states. We still have plenty of time to plant. I mean, we don't get frost till the end of October. We have now the northern guys. Well, your timing is narrowing down, but there's still time. So you have a plot now that's overtaken by weeds. Guess what? Spray it.
Yeah.
Spray it with chemicals, glyphosate, 2,4-D. You still have plenty of time. Wait 2 weeks, 10 days, 12 days, whatever it is, and then you can maybe rough that up with a drag or something and save it with some winter wheat.
Yeah.
You don't need to plant brassicas. Wheat and rye is always a save.
Yeah.
Me personally, I prefer the wheat,
Hmm.
the winter wheat, over the rye, but they both work, whatever you can get.
Right.
Um, that would be one scenario where you just have a plot it got overtaken by weeds. It can't be saved. Nothing you can really spray on it to save the species that you planted. Just go ahead and kill it. Plenty of time. People are still freaking out about this timing thing. Um, you know, thinking it's too late to plant. And hey, I'm planting this weekend. And that comes perfect with my average frost date of the last week of October. That gives me that window of, what, 50 days, 60 days or so for my brassicas. Um, I am mixing oats with that, but overseeding oats doesn't really work too well. It's a larger seed, but it's one of them seeds where you just can't throw on top the soil. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I mean I put a mix in today that had oats with it, and they're just sitting on top, and I don't expect a whole lot to happen with that.
Well, it's freshly loose soil, and
It is
you're going to get rain, so they'll germ. I'm talking about like
overseeding over existing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the soil's hard kind of. If you don't have loose soil, the oats aren't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't get a hard enough rain to set those seeds, if it's just a drizzle, I don't expect a lot out of it. But if we get a pretty good pounding, I'll have some oats. I'll have some oats in there.
Hmm.
And I've planted OBS plenty of times over the last 5 years,
Right.
and I get great stands from the OBS with plenty of that. And people love the green machine too. It has plenty of oats in it too. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
That
it,
one's got peas in it too.
it could happen. I mean, it's not a bad idea at
Yeah.
all.
Yep. And heck, I mean, really, say your brassicas that failed, spray it, disc it again, and plant brassicas.
Yeah,
You,
just
you,
plant it
s-
back right into it.
you still have time. I mean,
Mhm.
so the timing for this, like, if your average frost date is the end of October, which generally throughout that, central states throughout that line, it's roughly around the end of October. You can plant brassicas really up until that about first week of September.
September.
Maybe second, pushing it.
Because we
Um,
always did a lot of Labor Day plantings at the old farm.
yeah.
Labor Day weekends, we went in there and we planted a
Hmm.
lot of times, and
Yep.
it was plenty of stuff grown in there for opening day.
Plenty. It was
Plenty.
thick, lush. Deer tore it up. Um, but yeah, that
But
that
I
would be.
I like the wheat and rye. I really that's a good save.
It's a
Um,
powerhouse.
I mean, and I just did it. I mentioned on the last podcast that my incognito, I pretty much had let's say a failure because I didn't have rain for 5 weeks, and the stuff shot up 8 inches, and then zap, no rain for 5 weeks. So it was stunted off at about a foot, and then the deer started eating the tops of it off.
Hmm.
So the weeds came on and was almost overcoming it. So I sprayed it with 2,4-D, and they all wilted down to dirt level and exposed dirt. So what I did is I thought, well, I've got exposed dirt now. I'm going in town, and I bought winter wheat. So I spread that all amongst the incognito.
Did
So
did it tell
it's
you what?
sprouting now too.
Did it tell you what variety the wheat was?
My winter wheat,
Hmm.
nah, his tags are generic. They say farm wheat right
Gotcha.
on it. But it's from a company, but it says farm wheat on the tag.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I that's what I did with thoughts of like I said on the last podcast, I'm gonna let that stuff go haywire. It'll be green in the spring, and I will just let it go. And I'm gonna do an experiment and see how long I can let it go. I've let it go before till July and August in years past, and I had winter wheat 6 foot tall,
Hmm.
all headed out. Birds were eating it like crazy. Deer were laying in it. Turkeys were feeding on it. And if it does that and lasts that long for me next year, I'm not even going to plant a screening. I'm just going to let the winter wheat grow haywire. 6 feet's plenty for me. I'm not 6 feet, so
You're what, like 4'2"?
4'9".
4 4'9". Ain't much better. Um,
I'm 5 foot nothing.
yeah. But yeah, that winter wheat and rye, um, it really is a powerhouse because deer really can't wipe it out. It's like grass in your
Yeah,
yard.
yeah,
Deer eat it, or you mow your lawn, it grows back. Well,
and it's one of
deer.
those things that you can grow in a bare spot. If you have a spot that's bare, you could just overseed right over it.
Mhm.
Boom, it'll grow. Look at how we used to fill in the plots at the old farm.
Yeah, deer are a- acting as the lawnmower. They're just
Right?
continuously eating it,
Just
and
nip
it's
it.
cool too because like we still get those warm days in December. Where say you don't have no snowfall, you have bare ground, wheat and rye. It's dormant because it will go dormant, but you get 2-3 days of temperatures above 36, 37. Man, that stuff just perks up.
Yeah.
and it's like magic. The deer are right back in the plot hammering it. So
Mhm.
where we had the Sad Daddy blind at the old farm, I remember deer. I mean, even in the snow, they were digging down through the snow to get
Right.
to the wheat and rye.
Right.
So it really is a powerful attraction, and people don't think it is because it's just wheat and rye. Like who
Well,
cares? But
it's
it
it's
works.
on a it's on the same level as clover. You know, clover's king in my eyes. Someone said to me, "Oh, deer don't they won't waste their time digging for clover." Well, I took pictures here last year out behind camp where that's all it's planted in there is a straight block of clover, and they had that joint tore up. It looked like somebody come in there with a snow plow and took the snow off the plot. I
Hmm.
mean, they leveled it. They leveled the snow out there just digging around. I mean,
Yeah.
they had it dug right to the dirt. There was dirt on top of the snow and everything. They was right down in it.
Hmm.
And that's the beauty of saving a plot though. I guess I'm jumping ahead here, but the beauty of it is like the wheat and rye and brassicas for that matter. These are things that you can dang near drop on wet concrete and it'll grow. You know, this stuff is almost foolproof. You know, so don't be afraid. Like, and if you was one of those guys that got duped into planting a fall plot back in June, you know, and it's run its course and it's weedy and it's all stemmy and nasty and they're not even in it eating it right now.
Hmm.
Disc that sucker under and re-spread some more brassicas right on top of it.
Yep.
You know, disc it in. All that all that decaying matter is organic for your soil. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, these are ways you can save a plot, no problem.
My
Guys are
mission,
freaking out, man,
my mission in 2025 is to prevent people from planting a fall food plot in June.
in June.
I will slap somebody
I don't get it.
and it'll be funny.
Don't
That's
get it.
my mission. To stop it.
I
Stop the
don't
nonsense.
I don't know why.
Nah, I mean people can do what they want, but
They can do what they want. And the jugs say spring planting and fall planting. They say it
yeah.
right on it. But
If
I
it
could I could see it if you want to build soil.
yes.
You purposely can plant that stuff in the spring and till it under for your green manure factor. I
Mhm.
totally get that. But there were so many newbies this year that got duped into planting in June and July, and they're going to be
Over
sorry.
you're gonna have it's gonna be a weed massacre.
They're going to be sorry. Let's
Yep.
just put it that way.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, you're sick. You got one lung. I'm going to bed.
Hmm. I had enough. I'm hangry.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that helps. I know. Apologize. Short podcast, but I mean it's really cut and dry. Save a
Mhm.
plot. It's not too late. Plenty of time to go. Wheat,
Sure.
rye, and heck, even just get back up and redo brassicas. It's still plenty
Yeah.
of time.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
I even did buckwheat last week
Nice.
because it has plenty of time yet too.
Hmm.
It'll run its course and we'll probably get a frost right then when it's about ready to be totally matured. And I won't
Probably.
have to touch it. I'll just let it seeds fall right into place. And if it grows next year, fine. If not, I'll just till it all under again.
Hmm.
I'll save it. I'll
Later.
save it.
Later.
Goodbye.